Sokutuma afya fafina mu. Manfa. Ndeita abantu sokutuma afya fafina muri.
Are we ready?
We have a good audience, we can go.
Chishimba chitila amano ya lubuli yesanga mwalwa. Chishimba chitila amano ya lubuli yesanga mwalwa. Elo kabili wakwebe mfo ya kwanoko mutanji. Wakwebe mfo ya kwanoko mutanji. Amano nayo mambulwa. Amano nayo mambulwa. Yafuma muifwesa ya muchuru. When you look at all these Bemba idioms, they are telling us one thing. And that one thing that they are telling us is that it is very, very important to accept advice. It is extremely important to take advice and to think through the advice even before you respond. I have been following the sentiments that are being made as regards the increase of fuel prices from 22 kwacha to 26.6 kwacha per liter. What is the implication of this increment? The implication of this increment is that all prices of commodities will shoot up by about 30 to 35%. It simply means the bag of meal will go up, the bag of a pocket of sugar will go up, cooking oil prices will go up, transport costs for individuals or human beings and for goods will also go up. Meaning, therefore, that the cost of living is going to go up by about 30%. We do sympathize with those in government, and listen very carefully, my dear brothers in government, the UPND. Running a country is not making profits. Running a country is not about making profits or making your balance sheet look good or only wanting to have micro parameters in conformity with the expected international standards. But running a country is about improving the living standards of the people. In improving the living standards of the people, what is more cardinal is that people must be able to meet basic needs, more especially food. Because without food, clean water, no man can survive. Now, if your citizens are failing to afford basic food, basic essential commodities, then you must check your leadership. You must think, why am I a leader if the people cannot afford basic commodities. We know that this increase in fuel has been necessitated by a lot of factors. One of them is the war between Russia and Ukraine, which has made oil prices at the international community to shoot up. I have said, and I want to say it again, the situation that has presented itself is an extraordinary situation. It's not an ordinary situation. Under normal circumstances, ordinary situation, people can say, no, we cannot bring back subsidies because we have to build the economy, or probably we have to conform to some required benchmarks by maybe people that we are borrowing money from, like the IMF, in a normal circumstance. But what we're being faced with is not a normal situation. It's what we can classify as an emergency situation. The people of Zambia, their living standards have been going down. The people of Zambia's disposable income has been going down. The civil servants, i.e. the teachers, the policeman, the nurse, the miners, and almost everybody who works have had their salaries or earnings stagnant for a long period of time. But the essential commodities are going up. Now, this has even been made worse by the increase in fuel prices. It is against this background that some of us are saying, let's look for money and subsidize the price of fuel. Please, those in government, don't be arrogant. Don't overlook advice. That's why I said, amano ya lubuli, yesanga mwalwa. Iyo, palakwa chilalwa, amu maso, ngachikone noku, amu ikata kwa mkoshi, ngani muchimfia, na waku makali olubulu na lupua. This is what has happened to a lot of governments. By the time you realize, you are already out of government. Like I've said, we don't want you to fail UPND. But please, abapena umfilen kwa bantulu se. Umfilen kwa bantulu se. Subsidize the price of fuel. And get your cadres out of this equation. You see, the way government has behaved in the last 5 days, it's like you are trivializing the issue of price of fuel, the increase in price of fuel. How can you honestly be allowing cadres at the IPS for Lusaka province going to address the nation about the price of fuel? You go and get the chairman of energy in your party to come and address the issue of fuel. You go and get Mr. Noah Onkoma to come and address the issue of increasing price of fuel. Don't make mistakes that other people have made in the past. Separate the government from the party. This issue has to do with the government, and we want communication to come from the government and not the party. Statements from the party are just making it worse and making you look disorganized. Because when you look at the statement that young man gave IPS Lusaka province, what Mr. Nkoma said and what the chairman of energy said, uncoordinated statements. Mr. Nkoma says, no, we have to fulfill the conditions of the IMF. The other one says, no, our manifesto says we shall charge cost-reflective tariffs. The other young man says something else. Come on, UPND, you can do better than that. You can do better than that. Where is the chief government spokesperson in all this equation? Where is the official statement from government in all this equation? We don't want what was going on in the past, where, you know, we are saying, let's stop cadalism. Cadalism is not only insulting or what, but it's cadres, political party members wanting to speak on behalf of government. That is also a form of cadalism. My dear brother President HH, you can do better. Stop the cadres from commenting on important national issues. Let these statements come from the chief government spokesperson or the minister in charge of that particular ministry. You are trivializing the issue of the suffering of the people as a result of fuel prices. And this is not auguring well with the citizenry. Like I've said, we don't want you to fail. But apapena, we plead with you, twampapata, umfileni kwa bantulu se. Ichibemba chitila, chirifye, chifimfyo mkonso. Chirifye chifimfyo mkonso, chisesa chitontoli tomfwa. Elo ichibemba mana kabili chitila, umwa iche, ekalishe luanya. Umwa iche, ekalishe luanya. Lekecho, chitechi, iyo taule umfwa. Dilalumba cha kusanga elo waikala and chitachidia ngachali ifi. You can do better, UPND. Please subsidize the price of fuel, because what has started happening, I was walking around Luansha yesterday and the other day in Kitwe. What people are saying and the way people are complaining is not too good for a government. The government is supposed to be the father. And when an extraordinary situation presents itself, please make extraordinary decisions. Look for money, like I advised in my previous discourse. That look, there are certain things you've budgeted for in the budget that are not a matter of life and death. Could you think if you want to become budget? After 2 years, the country will not negatively be affected. But ichicha nsala as a result of ukulundo mutengo wa fuel, abantu balafu kunsala. Mukampeni mwalenda na ka plastic ka cooking oil na ka pakata ka wunga. Amutinga twaisa ifwe pakata ya wunga na kaka plastiki ka cooking oil takwa kawe abantu bakanashitama 5 liters. Nomba ifyo mutengo wa mafuta wanina, ifyo mitengo yalabe ya saladi ya wunga na pakata ine idata kwabe abantu balambo kulya katwishinga nga fyumbu nga bakulali emishila mweba mnyinane mweba li government ine nde mumfilo oluse. Don't be capitalists. Don't run the country like a business. Strictly like a business where you want to see profits. In running the country, you must balance between, you know, keeping your macro parameters in check and also the living standards of the people. Nampapata. Subsidize fuel. Abantu bapemu ineko. Abantu balechula. Lesa ingamikila mumitima yenu. Mumfile kwa abantu luse. Imo mula forenda la meshingi ba minister, ba president ba shitila be fiance. Elo bwali ya mwaichi wandi bwali ya presidential affairs, presidential aid for press. Yo shipeni fe mwe bantu. Abena Zambia bali shipishe imikwingi no kushipa bala shipa. But this is an extraordinary situation. Please, because ngata muchite subsidize. Next month, fuel ikaba kuma 33 or even more than 33. Abantu balaika na shani. You are in those offices because of these same poor people who vote for you. Umfile ni kwa abantu use. Bana mayo wa mwashitisho musalu. Limbia hotel fuel 100 kwacha. Mulamwine order price miskiste. Apanga ko 40 kwacha. Ayashita moka kapaka takawunga. Ashita na cooking on. Nombanga bala filu omlandu wa mitengo. Bala abantu bala ya kwisa. Nampapata ba HH I know. But government I know. Mweba mnyinane. Mweba mnyinane. Mweba mnyinane. na mwitemi kuitatu umfire nkwa abantu uluse wesheni mutengo wa mafuta by subsidizing Kagame uko nalanda balakista subsidize ba South Africa balakista subsidize ba America ngai muchashupa shani usheba IMF bakulatu ebefya kuteke chalo so bankoma balelanda no by June we will be done with the IMF, things will be right. The IMF program is 3 years program. That money will be disbursed in 3 years. It's not in June. Elo bufina muleke obufi mwilabe pa bantu kwata batonton kanya nani wa miebele bankomati IMF program will end in June. Please do the right thing. Subsidize the fuel, cushion the poor from the imminent sufferings and anger that is going to besiege this country. I thank you.